finish my presentation, please, and then I'll take all the questions you want to ask. But the agreement is, as I said, a pretty standard agreement in the industry, and I think there are many, in fact, most municipalities that have adopted these agreements across the country. I'm not sure why in this area it hasn't happened yet. It's starting to happen. And, I guess with that, since folks have questions.
Okay, when you finish, I certainly want you to finish. Okay.
First, let me ask the board if you have any questions.
No, I will say it was advertised in the program record, and it was put out that anyone who wanted to read it could come in and pick up a copy and read it here or take it with them. That was for the last week or more than a week, almost 2 weeks. So it has been on the site, and we have had it here. We've had it here. It was in the paper, and it was on the list. Yes.
So the township has hired this gentleman to help you with this?
Yes.
How much did that cost us? How much are his services costing us?
How much is it? Rich.
You obviously have to look at the amount of time you put into it.
Can't hear you.
Speak up.
What is your fee up to now?
That's not working.
These don't work?
You have to call louder.
We'd be happy to get you an exact number.
Well, it's a roundabout. I mean, you.
I'm sure there's an hourly fee.
What?
Yes, there is.
What is the hourly fee?
$105 an hour.
Okay.
Whoa!
Does that include travel time?
We have not billed for travel.
They don't do it.
Okay.
You guys are representing us, right? You're not representing yourselves, you're representing us. And you are in charge of the purse strings. You probably should have had that answer of what the taxpayers were paying for this service. So that's just my comment there. And secondly, do you think that if you have waited all these years and not put a burden on Blue Ridge, and they haven't, and we haven't had any competition, by putting another burden on them financially, that will encourage competition? Yeah. And third, Blue Ridge apparently says they're going to have to charge another 1.5% to handle all the administrative aspects from paying the township under this agreement. And so that's going to be
Where did you hear that?
From the newspaper in the public.
Well, that's not correct.
About 6.5%.
Some stuff in the newspaper's true, some stuff
Is
isn't.
what we're going to see.
Okay, so you're saying 5%. So we're going to pay that cost on top. And we do have digital, or you can do the digital satellite. I mean, that's a competition. We have a 1-800 number to call Blue Ridge Cable if we need to.
That's right.
So I'm just wondering, where is all this coming as far as your fee? How much you've been paid in total, if you had a guess? We can all guess our income. Well, we're just trying to make money, you know.
I might have 25 hours into this.
Are you completed in 25 hours?
Yeah, I don't.
In other words, you don't need no more information. You don't have to come out.
Once the board.
Okay, quiet please, so Bob doesn't speak really loud, so just be quiet so we can hear him. Okay.
If the board adopts the agreement tonight, I'm done with this.
So what you've been paid to date is what you will receive both. You'll receive that whether the board approves it or not.
25 hours is an approximate.
Okay. You'll receive that
More or less.
of whether the board approves or not.
Write out a check for $25.75 right now.
Here you go.
That'll cover 25
Excuse
hours
me,
and 105.
But Bob is doing the township a big favor. He has updated our cable franchise agreement, which was done last time in 1972. So it had to be updated. Don't you think? I mean, that's a long time ago.
Well,
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Well, to bring it up to date, so that if we do get another cable company in here, we can have them meet the same standards that we're now asking to fund.
Why don't we want another?
That doesn't mean 5%, does it? I mean, couldn't
Well,
you
we
update
are
it?
asking the franchise company, cable franchise company, to put a 5%. Yeah, we're asking them for a 5% fee, and of course, that's what we're asking them.
Yeah, and this
That's
room
up to
probably
them to
wouldn't be-
pay us.
So then we'll pay another 5%.
That's up to them to pay us.
Yeah, but this room wouldn't be full, Jane, if, and Frank and Harold, if you were just updating it for housekeeping reasons and there were no fee that you were going to charge into dry wells, right? You're coming into people who don't have jobs and don't have income, and you're coming back and saying, you know, I'm going to hire another person, and I'm going to raise the cost of service providers, who are then going to pass it on to you.
Well, Judy, it's 5%, which would be $5 on a $100 bill, so $5 a month.
Yeah, but you're looking at $140 you're getting in. Us taxpayers are gonna have to pay that back. It's just like you raising our taxes again.
Well, actually, to keep your property taxes down, that's what we're doing.
No,
It's a backdoor.
Let me talk. It affects not only property owners, it affects people who rent. It affects people who have the cable TV. It affects those people. And other townships do this also. So it's not that it's not done by other townships.
Jane, I've had my hand up for a while now.
Leave it the way it is.
Yes.
It's gonna keep everyone going, getting rid of the cable and going to satellite. Then you don't get anything. You don't get anything. If it's gonna get too much, everyone's gonna get satellite, then you're not gonna get anything.
We're going to get off the bridge, and you won't get
Well, that's your option.
Sir, I understand that this is a usage tax, because basically it'll get
It
reflected
is
in.
exactly user
I
fee.
get that.
You're right on the money.
I get that.
It's not a tax, it's a user fee.
It's a
Is Blue Ridge, now that they're coming across our rights of way, which we as township residents, we own,
That's
are they
correct.
paying us rent for that usage?
Once they adopt this agreement, they will be.
5%.
Right now, they
No,
are
no,
not.
no.
If they don't,
If they collect 5 and they give it back,
They
that's not
collect
paying
5
the
and
fee.
give it back, that's
not collecting the fee.
flat. Now I'm talking about, are they paying us rent to come across our rights of way in order that they can generate income and revenue for their company?
Good point.
They are paying the township 5%.
But they're collecting that fee on a bill from us.
Right.
Right, so that's a usage tax.
They're
I get
collecting
that.
it from the users of the system.
Right.
Now, you have different classes of people in the community. You have the entire community that owns all of the rights of way. You folks, no matter whether you have a cable, satellite, or no cable at all, rabbit ears, you own the rights of way.
So we're gonna
The
get
folks who have rabbit ears, who have a satellite, will not pay the fee. It's only the users of the system. And you have the choice of any one of those technologies or whatever else might come down the line if there's competition.
So our next tax then will be electric and phone, correct?
No.
Where does it stop?
The community, this township doesn't have the ability to tax.
But it's on the same pole.
Why wouldn't it?
It's on
You
the
can
same
do
right of
that.
way.
It's on the same right of way.
Pardon me?
The law does not allow.
I'm sorry,
That'll
I
be
missed
the
that.
next
The
thing.
law does not allow that, sir?
The law doesn't allow a township to collect a fee for use of the rights of way for electric and phone.
Okay, does it allow it for
Or
cable?
internet, or internet.
Does it allow it for cable
Just
television?
cable.
It does.
Just
Yeah.
cable.
So,
But
so
internet goes
we're
over the
asking,
cable too.
we
I
as
think he's
citizens.
answered your question.
All right, well, he didn't
I'm
answer
making a
mine yet,
statement. I
Jay.
believe that we as citizens are asking our township supervisors to incorporate somewhere in this agreement where not on the back of the taxpayers, but rather on the back of the company that would like to do business in our township, that they pay the right for the rights of way. Well,
That's their money.
what's your name? My name's Henry O'Bannon.
Thank you. Robert, I know nothing about franchise fees or usage tax, but in any contract and negotiation, there's two sides. And I'm just wondering, what have we offered, what have we given up or obligated ourselves to? Is there more maintenance of the right-of-ways? What are they demanding from us, and what would that maybe cost us as taxpayers in that part of the agreement?
There's nothing like that in the contract. It's a contract that is favorable to the township. There's no additional maintenance responsibilities. We're giving free service.
Would you please keep it down, because Bob's trying to get an answer to his question.
Nothing like that comes to mind that obligates the township to do anything other than to grant the agreement.
So the 168, whatever that number was, you believe that number is what we're going to end up netting. The gross is what we're going to net because of no additional expenses that we will
I've
incur by this?
estimated 150 to 160,000 based on numbers that came from Blue Ridge. That's where that came from.
Sir, where you live, there are more than one cable TV provider, so there's competition there.
Yes.
Right now, we have one, and it's been that way for years, and it doesn't look like there's gonna be more than one.
We didn't have competition until 4 years ago
Well,
when Verizon came to town.
well, I can pretty much tell you Verizon isn't interested here. Basically, from what I see, I used to, yes. I used to, and it looks like this is a backdoor tax on Blue Ridge TV users.
Blue Ridge pays this franchise fee in most of its other areas.
But people that aren't Blue Ridge customers aren't gonna pay this.
Aren't gonna pay it, that's correct.
Well, I have to
So
give-
that's fair?
It's a tax to the users of the system for use of the rights of way that are owned by everyone.
Right now, Blue Ridge has a right of way to my property, right through the center of my property. If I go in competition, or if the township decides to go in competition, do I have to give some other company a right of way also?
I don't know the answer to that question. That would depend on what's in your easement agreement.
I'm sorry, sir.
That would depend on what's in your particular agreement. This contract only deals with the public rights of way, the rights of way in the road areas that are owned by the township.
If the township approves that, will these meetings be able to be programmed into my TV set at home
Yes.
beforehand, or the agendas, et cetera, like they do in Jersey? Yes, no?
If the township in this agreement is entitled to an education and government channel, it will own that channel. If it decides to activate that channel and televise any of its meetings, then they would play over that channel.
Have you fellow people, excuse me, looked into this as a possibility?
We know it's a possibility. No,
Well,
we
everybody
have
knows
not gone
it's a
any farther.
possibility, but
Not yet,
have you
because
looked
we
at
haven't
it?
adopted it yet.
Well, you haven't adopted, but you got a proposal.
It's possible.
You got a proposal. Have you looked into it? Like this young lady over here asked,
No.
you know, look at the agreement before you.
Well, we've had this agreement here. I mean, it was advertised, we've had it public, I mean, anyone can come in and look at this. We had one person, I believe, come in. No, we didn't have anybody come in at the table. We had somebody come in at the other one. But it's been advertised that it was open to the public, and you know, it's there. We can't help it.
We all realize that there's a lot of information available for us.
It's been in the
Come
paper.
down and sit down and request records which are supposedly available. At certain times they're not, but nobody's approached this as far as you three are concerned. Because you're going to make the decision whether we say yes, no, or otherwise.
That's correct.
I mean, we realize that. I'm glad you said that. I get a little frustrated when you say that, Jane, because this is not a dictatorship, it's a democracy.
We know that.
Okay?
It's a republic.
Whatever it is, it is. But the idea is, I look forward to you purposely saying, hey, Vin, I've already read this and I've made this recommendation, and based on what I've seen and done, I recommend we do this.
Right.
And you
I
tell
have
it-
read it. I have read it.
Well,
I read every word of it.
and I asked you if you had, you know, approached that position whereby this could be done as well, and you said, yeah. Is that factual?
As what could be done? The
If you
fact
could
that
have a meeting here, and I could sit home and watch it.
Yeah, I think there's
Yes,
some, some
sometime.
confusion. There is a provision in this
Yeah.
agreement that says that cable, or that channel will be made available to the township. The township would have to take the next step and get the necessary TV equipment, whatever, to televise it. But that provision is already in the agreement. The channel will be available if they adopt the agreement. Yeah, maybe I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought that you were asking.